What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I have stolen my dad's 2014 3.5 liter EcoBoost F150 to put on some modifications that he's been pointing towards the last couple months. So today we're planning on replacing a third brake light because his is disgusting, which most of the 09 through 14 F150 brake lights are. Doing a DeeZee Tailgate Assist because this thing's very heavy, and he's been wanting tow mirrors for the longest time. My parents have a 24-foot RV and the stock mirrors aren't cutting it. So today we're going to work on installing these three items and giving the truck back to him. Alright, so the first mod that we're going to do is replace this disgusting looking factory third brake light that gets a lot of dirt and just crap around it. Looks like poo. For this nice smoked one, LED one from ISSY Auto, I'll go ahead and link this particular third brake light down in the description below, but it's fairly straightforward. There's two plugs and two screws, so we'll go ahead and take this off with a Phillips head, clean it up, and then go ahead and put this one on and we'll see what it looks like. Look at this thing. Freaking nasty. Alright, so I just grabbed some quick detailer, trying to get all this crap off of here so the new brake light can seal so we don't have any leaks inside the truck. Alright, so you have three outlets here. The middle one is the brake light, which obviously the brake light goes to the middle section. You only need to plug in just one of these. There isn't another outlet or another wire. So what we're going to do, being this is going back in the truck, we're just going to throw some electrical tape over the third one so there's no water that gets in there or anything like that. So we'll do that real fast, just so we don't get any moisture in there. And then we can test it real quick. Alright, so when we unlock, we got that. So that works. And the other one's obviously the brake light, which I can't test and hold at the same time. Alright, we will go ahead and put these back in. What I will probably do is just take these off and use the factory provided hardware from Ford if it fits. These nuts and bolts that are provided don't actually fit into the Ford OEM clips, so I'm going to completely remove these. I don't know if these are for shipping or what, but we'll take these off. This I sealed up, so we can go ahead and push these back in, and then we are going to use the OEM screws. Alright, so now that we have the third brake light installed, just make sure that the gasket is nice pressed up against the truck so you don't get any leaks. We'll go ahead and hop down real quick, make sure that the third brake light works, the reverse or the bed lights and the third brake light work, and then we'll move on to the next project. Alright, so the next task is we're going to install one of these DeeZee Tailgate Assists. These are really freaking awesome. I've had one on my F150 for the longest time. My dad's tailgate is steel where mine's aluminum, so this thing is way heavier and it's way more inconvenient when you try and lower it when your hands are full. So it goes on the driver's side. It essentially uses this hole here and then a bracket that goes up here. So what we will do first is install this riv nut looking thing. I don't even know what this thing is called, but essentially this piece goes into the tailgate and then you tighten it and this portion expands, and it's essentially like a riv nut where it leaves a threaded portion inside.
Yeah, you should.
Alright, I think we're good. Alright, so when we get to that point, just flip your wrench around, just slightly loosen this, and then this whole thing should loosen out. Like that. And then we can loosen this guy. This whole thing should come out as one unit. Just like that. And now we've just installed the threaded portion inside of the tailgate. So the next step is to put in this ball stud right here. Go ahead and tighten this. This was the 13, right? I think.
13 8 foot-pounds.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll go ahead and tighten this guy down. There's just a little bit of blue Loctite on here, thread locker. Keep going, almost there. Alrighty, so that's installed there. And then the next step would be, I believe, this bracket. So the next step is we're going to go ahead and remove this portion, or this T50 Torx right here, and essentially this plate is going to go behind it. So we'll go ahead and break this free. Some power tools. Alright, there's that. The next thing to do is put this behind it and go ahead and reinstall it. That. Provide this little protective film. You're going to end up cutting this in half, putting one right here, and then one section like right here, and that prevents the gas shock to rub on the metal. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut this in half real quick. Cut it down a little bit more. Peel this little film off. Stick that there, and the other one just blew all the way across the bed. Trim this guy. Alright, so to install this, all we do is put this here, the ball goes on here. Alright, we pulled the rod out slightly. Just line this up like that. Oops. There you go. Alright, so just going over what mirrors we actually ordered. These are the 2015 and newer style mirrors for the 2009 through 2014 F150s. It's essentially the same mirror as what's on my 2016 F150, but the actual mounting area is just a little bit different. So these specific mirrors have the smoked turn signals, the chrome caps, which most of my dad's truck has a chrome package, so we ended up going with those just to blend everything in. It does have puddle lamps. I don't know if they're going to work or not. I don't know if he has the wiring set up that's required for these, but we'll find out. And then these do have, the top portion is power and heated, the bottom portion is just manual only. So these were actually about 200 bucks, and they feel really good quality. They're actually kind of heavy, which is nice. So these also extend in and out and break forward and go backwards, which we'll show you how that works when we get on the truck. So for $200, I think this is a really good option, especially for anybody that has an older F150, like a 12th gen. I'll go ahead and link these down below if you guys are interested, and I'll give you more of a kind of a review and function test and everything once we get them on the truck. So let's go ahead and put these on the truck and we'll go from there. So the first thing we need to do is remove, there's this little plastic trim piece right here, and then there's a trim piece right here. There's two bolts behind, or one bolt behind each, so we'll go ahead and pop that off real quick. Probably the best tool to use is just a 90-degree pick. So we will try and get behind this. Go ahead and pop this guy out like that. Set that aside, and I believe that's an 8mm bolt behind there. Yep, so that's an 8mm. There's one actually right here. So we'll try and get this guy underneath like that. I believe that one is also an 8mm. Just confirming. Yep. And then there's actually two 6mm bolts. One right here, and then one up here. So we'll go ahead and start with these guys up here. Alright, and now this should be free. Just like that. So if you wanted to, you could take this whole thing off and undo the latch and all of that fun stuff. I think what we'll probably do, I'll just probably put the little seat underneath there, kind of prop it up. Actually, I'm just going to leave them hooked on these bottom hooks right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the door panel has little hooks, because all we need access to is this right here. So go ahead and pull this guy back a little bit. And then here is the plug for the mirrors. So there's a little tab here that you push down with your finger and you can pull out. I'm going to have to get a little bit in there. Just like that. There's a little tab there. And then we have to undo these three. Alright, so at this point, if you're doing this by yourself, it's probably a good idea to roll your windows down so you can actually grab the mirror through while you're undoing the bolts. These are 11mm. I would either use a ratcheting wrench or an actual electric wrench like this, just for ease of use, because if you use an impact, then you're going to have to take the whole door panel off, which I don't think you really need to do. I believe there's actually a friction clip on this, just like my truck was, or my truck had. So we'll go on the other side here, and mine you actually had to lift up to get out. Which this one,
yeah,
there we go. So we have a friction clip here, so when you loosen these, it doesn't fall. So I guess we'll go ahead and clean up all this disgusting mess over here, and we'll put the new tow mirror on. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is go ahead and put these mirrors up to the door, and then you will need to push through your factory clip here, so that's out of the way. And then these go in the factory holes, like so. Top one's in. There we go. So unfortunately these don't have the pressure clips like the factory ones do, so you at least need to get one of the nuts on. It's kind of hard to do by yourself. I'm always been a fan of using factory hardware if it works. These are the factory bolts that came off of the factory mirrors. They do have ones that are provided, or nuts provided, but I've always liked reusing the OEM ones if it's at all possible, because usually they're a little bit better quality. And then push this guy in here. And start.
Yeah, you gotta keep it even.
Yeah. Check the fitment on this side, make sure everything's all nice and flush. What it appears to be nice and flush. Nothing's out of line, everything's all lined up. And we'll go ahead and plug this bad boy in. Plug it in the right direction, that might help. Alright, so let's go ahead and test all of the functions, make sure this actually works, which the first one should be
take out a wrapper off.
When I unlock. Alright, so that lights up. The puddle light actually works. That's awesome. So my dad does have the wiring for that. Go ahead and take this off. Beautiful. Alright, so now they got all of this plugged in, make sure all of this works, side to side works. You guys can look at each other through the camera. So that works. This one is not powered. It's just you push it with your hands and set it up however you wish. I'm actually kind of shocked that the puddle lights work, which is awesome because some of the trucks are wired with them and some of them aren't. Apparently this one is, so that's a plus. And these are heated as well, which we can't test now because it's Florida and it's hot all the time. But if they're all fogged up in the morning or if it's raining, something like that, you can turn the heat on. So I guess we will go ahead and reinstall this, basically just doing the opposite of what we did before, and then we'll move on to the other side. Alright, so just going over some basic functions of these. The whole point of these mirrors is so you can extend them out so you can see around large enclosed trailers or RVs or things like that. Another cool feature about this is if you park in a garage or something like that and you accidentally clip the mirror, they fold forward so they don't break. And then obviously if you're parking in a tight parking space, they fold in so you can, you know, get in the tight spaces. These mirrors do have the LED turn signals, which on these generation trucks you can't see from the front. They're actually on the other side of the mirror, which is really nice. Because usually when you're turning, oncoming traffic needs to know that you're turning. You can actually see these from the side as well, which is nice. Smoked clear corners, clear corner things, chrome mirror cap, and the puddle lights actually work. So that's a huge plus. I wasn't really sure if that was going to actually work or not. So overall, I think these are freaking awesome. especially having the newer style tow mirror like what's on my truck over there, for the 09 through 14 F150s, because honestly I absolutely hate how the stock style mirrors look on these trucks. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. I'll go ahead and link all of the products that we used in this video: the tow mirrors, the DeeZee Assist, and the third brake light. If you guys are interested in that, you can order them through those. And let us know what else we should do to this truck. Like I said, this is my father's truck. It's been getting all the hand-me-down things like the wheels, things like that. So I guess we'll see you guys next time. Bye.